Hey, crafty babes, welcome back. We're going to go through another weekly memory keeping spread here. This happens to be the very last week of the month. So, of course, we're back to Christmas colors and Christmas photos. And I actually skipped a few weeks just so that I could get this particular week done, so that I could get all of my Christmas decoration, well, not decoration, but Christmas supplies officially put away. And I have done that. And I've already laid out the photos because I had a ton of them and I just didn't want to have to kind of do that twice. And I'm also going to lay out my days and dates, days of the week and dates. I'm going to make it really simple because there's a lot of color in these photos, and this spread is going to be super colorful. And so I'm just going to do these in black. I'm not going to think too much or fuss too much about any kind of special color scheme or what works best. I'm just going straight black for both the day of the week and the date. And I'm using the Ellie Studio it's kind of an older stamp. I want to say it's at least 2 years old. But it has the days of the week all spelled out, and then also the abbreviations. And I had tried to use this stamp before and knew that the Wednesday spelled out was way too long. And then realized when I looked at the stamp again today, at the time, that it had the abbreviations, which works perfectly. So, and then I'm just going to use my 8-digit date stamp. And you can find this using one of the links on my faves page. I have some Amazon affiliate links there. And this is one of my favorite stamps. I use it all the time. I have a 6-digit one as well. And it's just handy. I love the way that the dates look. So here, the week actually does extend past this Sunday, but I have included everything up to the 31st. I'm just not dating up to the 31st. So I didn't need to do a whole other page. And I just decided to include everything on this one spread from Monday, I think it's the 23rd before Christmas, and then through New Year's Eve. And these, of course, are not all of my Christmas photos. I did an entire December daily album, sort of December daily album. I did something a little different, and it was 25 December favorites. So I just listed out a bunch of things I wanted to document and didn't do a daily kind of format. It was very, very fun. It was so much easier than feeling like I had to capture something every day. I just captured what I captured because it was my favorite stuff, and it really worked out well. It was a lot less pressure. So here I am using mostly cards from, I think it was Greenwich, which was the Studio Calico kit that came out in December. It has some greens and reds. And then also, like, I just cut down that Kelly Purkey card with the black and red ledger paper. And just kind of keeping the papers pretty neutral because I'm going to have some journaling that I want to do, as well as the photos are really busy. It's, it's Christmas, so things are colorful, and the frames are very full of Christmas. I do have a bunch of different stuff ready to possibly use. And as I've decided on things, I'm kind of just placing them and then kind of just living with them for a little bit, seeing what works, what I might want to use. And a lot of indecisiveness in this particular layout, but I really love how it comes together. These are some washi strips from my Christmas set from Illustrated Faith. Unfortunately, it is in the vault and we won't be able to see it again till next year. but the washies were super fun. So I think I'm just going to, I'm going to put some washi up there in the right-hand corner. Working it out, seeing what we're going to do. I think I might be committing to my photos now. A lot of finger tapping with indecisiveness and thinking. And that does happen. I feel sometimes, well, actually I feel all the time when I film these processes, I feel a different level of pressure than I feel when I'm just creating without the camera on. If you've been watching videos from me for a while, I probably have mentioned this. It's just almost like stage fright. And I get antsy about if I'm taking too long, or if my camera is going to shut off, or, just if there's going to be a technical issue that I don't realize and that I've lost footage, or, there's just different pressures. And even though nobody is physically watching me do this at the moment, I think and feel like people are watching me. So the indecisiveness sometimes happens more when I have the camera on. And I think it's just a different feeling. If you have ever recorded yourself making a craft that you're going to share with someone, I think you know what I'm talking about. It really is like stage fright. But, I get used to it, and I have to give myself grace and space and say, you know what, I'm creating this, and I don't have any time constraints. No one's pressuring me, and I just kind of have to roll with that. I have to pretend that it's just me. So I know that there are things that I for sure want to use. And there are things that I for sure want to use that I'm like trying to force into the layout. And that's never really a good thing, but it's always nice to try. It really is. It's good to try. This time, I'm actually not going to use stamp numbers for the week number. I'm just going to use my weekish stamp set and then the Felicity Jane alphas in red. And I love like not making the numbers level. That kind of thing used to drive me nuts. Like everything had to be even and just like, okay, for example, this week that I just stamped, it's a little too far to the right. So for me, I'm going to actually stamp another stamp that evens out and balances out the right to left. But the fact that I can not be able to handle that, but be able to handle the 5 and the 2 not being even, it's just, my brain is so weird, but I love it. And the quirkiness of that just feels right. And I'm a recovering perfectionist and an aspiring good enoughist. I think Brene Brown said that, and it just like totally is where I'm going with my life. So the fact that I can embrace uneven numbers is huge. But I also adding the this week right above the week and like double stamping it totally works. It felt good. So it had a dual purpose. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, I desperately want to use this promissory note vintage little thing. I desperately want to use that milk cap with the greenery on it. I desperately want to use the red tickets and the green ticket. I'm struggling. You'll be surprised. It actually does turn out. We shall see how we get along. This is working. I just feel like it needs some balance, those tickets can't just hang there. I'm trying to figure out if I want to add washi. I end up not, because I feel like it's just already so busy. I'm trying to keep some white space so that our eyes don't get too distracted and overwhelmed. So I'm definitely committing to this money. And I'm definitely committing to this green heart, I think, is going to stack on top of it. And then I do some other stuff. I think this is where I put the milk cap. I stapled that, by the way. I know it was off camera. There are so many times when I cut things like I just did, or I bring something up close to me and I forget that you guys can't see when I pull things a little too close to myself. Oh, sticker paper is not forgiving at all. I totally laid that down wrong, and then I had to like remove an air bubble. It's fine. I'll live. I also didn't like the way that the sticker paper was gonna lay across those two things. So I just stuck it onto cardstock and then punched it with a circle punch. Just made it a little bit easier to just make sure that the whole thing was seen and that it was a little bit more raised off the page, I guess, just so that it wasn't sticker paper and transparent. Okay, I found this green striped heart, and that is like the perfect third element for adding to this little cluster. My rule is always an odd number of things in a cluster. Sometimes, like on that right there, on this, because that ticket is pretty busy, I actually am not sure that I add anything to that. I think I just staple it. Also because it's just kind of busy over there. So I also really liked this green grid, and I knew that there was some of that deep green missing from this side of the page, so I added it underneath the week number there. Making decisions, y'all. Yeah, just stapled it on there. Okay, then I think we're going back down. Well, maybe not. Let's see. What are we doing? All right, Dre, what are we doing? Yeah, see, that's where it ended up. It's so cute there. This little corner over here ends up being really super fun. I'd never really done that kind of thing on one of these spreads yet, and I really like how it turned out. So I'd already made some journaling lines with my pencil, and I'm just going through adding just a little blurb about Christmas Day, and just the fact that just as a family, we had a very fun and relaxing morning together, and it was just wonderful. I used to draw all of my lines with a ruler, and back when Christy Makes used to scrapbook, she would make these wonky journaling lines, and I was like, oh, that looks so cool. Can I do that? And she's like, you should do that. I'm like, but am I allowed to make non-straight lines? And I just felt like sometimes when you see other people do things, it just kind of was like it's like a permission slip for you to tag along and do something that might be scary to you or feel weird. But now I totally embrace the messy lines. I absolutely adore making messy lines underneath my journaling. I feel like it's kind of just a part of my journaling now. Same with doing the border lines, or like the hand drawn borders around the cards or around photos. That kind of thing was never something I thought that I would be comfortable with. And I think it was Susanna Made in Mojave was the first person I saw physically doing that. And I was like, that's magical. It's funny how you can see other people do things and realize, oh, I totally am allowed to do that. Okay, so I made a little list here over on the left of like the most memorable gifts from this year. And I typed gifts with my Dymo, and then I stamped favorite in red right above that. And that was a Citrus Twist. That was a Citrus Twist kit stamp. And now I'm going over. I usually don't write in pencil much anymore. Again, it's kind of one of those things I've grown out of. I don't feel as nervous about my journaling anymore. I used to always write in pencil first and then go over it in pen. I think too, the difference might be the pen that I'm using now. I don't use like felt pens for my journaling anymore. I use ballpoint, and so sometimes it smears when you try to erase over it. So I think that was kind of a natural reason why I stopped penciling first. And here, the end of the page over here on the right is mostly about my taking Christmas decorations down and my new kind of winter decorations that came after. That's pretty much what the whole right side is about. And so that's just what my journaling was about. Okay, so I'm feeling like the space underneath the checklist, the gift checklist, is just feeling a little bland, almost like it needs to be filled in. So I'm doing kind of a little grid, clustery, collagey type of situation and just finding the right pieces, kind of like a puzzle. You're just finding pieces that fit in the spaces that you have. It's one of my very favorite page formats to do is these collage pages where you're just finding little pieces that just fit into the nooks and crannies of the other pieces that are there. It's like everybody's friends and we're all going to live here together and we're going to be close and we will love each other and play nice. And that's it. We're all done with week number 52. Pretty soon I'll be sharing my entire 2019 flip through of this format, so I hope you'll join me for that. And I've got a couple of weeks left to do that I'll share as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you next time.